When I was 6 years old, I decided I wanted to be a veterinarian, mostly because I really liked puppies. But as I got older, I started volunteering at vet clinics and shadowing veterinarians, and I actually fell in love with the profession. So I'm sure you can imagine that when I got accepted into vet school, it was an absolute dream come true. Almost 4 years later, and I'm finishing up my veterinary degree. And while the veterinary profession and this career is still something that I absolutely love, sometimes vet school really sucks. Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name's Amanda. I'm a final year vet student, and today's video is basically just an update of why I have been so MIA on YouTube this past year, and just an update on how fourth year is going in general, because I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit different than I had originally expected. Also, Link is here. He's just, having the time of his life looking out the window. Right? So yeah, basically I thought I would just give you guys a little bit of an update and also apologize for being so inconsistent on YouTube this past year. Honestly, in my head, like flashback to May of last year, I was so excited for fourth year and all of the content that I was gonna create for you. Originally in my head, I had planned on making a rotation vlog for basically every new rotation that I did. Obviously, if you've been following along, you will see that I have not done that. And I feel like I always try and highlight the positives about vet school on my YouTube channel. I mean, if I'm being honest, I just don't feel like picking up the camera when I'm stressed or anxious, or when I'm going through a patch of vet school that, is not the most enjoyable. So today I thought I would get pretty real and honest with you guys about what fourth year has been like, the challenges that I've been going through in fourth year, and I'm definitely not trying to make any excuses for why. Oh, bye Link, see you later. This video is not about you. So don't get me wrong, fourth year has hands down been the best year of vet school. It's the most applicable year, it's the most hands-on year. You're actually getting to practice and put in place the skills that you've been learning about in a classroom. So that side of things has been fantastic. I've really been enjoying this year in that sense. However, I do think that fourth year of vet school has been the most mentally challenging and the most mentally exhausting year. And one of the reasons is because I am definitely a person who thrives off of consistency. I love getting into a routine and sticking to a routine. And fourth year, basically, you have zero routine. And I think for me, that's been really challenging. I shared a post on my Instagram talking about how Mondays are basically like mini New Year's, and I felt like that was so relatable to fourth year, and that whole concept in itself is something that I feel like I've been struggling with a little bit. I think one of the big challenges that I've found with fourth year is that basically every single week I'm in a new place with new people. There's new expectations, there's new people to impress, and honestly, it's just been pretty exhausting. I feel like as soon as I get into a routine and figure out, the groove of the rotation, what the expectations are, what the clinicians expect from us, because every single clinician has different ideas and different expectations and just different ways they do things. So I feel like as soon as I figure those things out and finally get into a routine, the week is done and I'm on to a new rotation in a new place with new people. And that constant turnover and that constant change has been, not gonna lie, a bit of a challenge for me. A lot of my rotations this year have been external rotations, so they've been outside of OVC, and a lot of the times I'm the only vet student there, and that's also been hard. It's always nice having people that you know in rotation alongside of you, and I think that's been one of the benefits of having OVC rotations, is that as much as I'm feeling lost and disoriented my first day, there's always a bunch of rotation mates that are in the exact same position as me. Also, I've been at OVC for the past 3 years, so as much as I haven't been on different services over the 3 years, it's still a familiar environment. It's still a place that I've been. I know where things are. So I've definitely found the external rotations a little bit more challenging than the internal rotations at OVC. But by the same token, the one thing that I have found challenging, I guess with OVC rotations more so than external rotations, is that the imposter syndrome is hitting hard this year. I feel like there was a bit of a lull. Like first year, the imposter syndrome was really bad, and then second and third year, I felt like it was okay. I'd have it every so often. Fourth year, oh my gosh, imposter syndrome like around every corner. Also, just like my classmates are absolutely brilliant. I'm so thankful that I get to learn from them and I get to do rotations with them, but I do find that I compare myself to them quite often. I had a pretty good hand on like not comparing myself to classmates throughout the first couple years of vet school, but it's very different when you're in a clinic setting and you're directly working with these people. I just find it's really hard to not compare yourself. Even the feeling of like, wow, I'm in 4th year, like how do I not know this already? The people I'm on rotation with are so smart and they seem to know everything. Why don't I know everything? Anyway, lots of imposter syndrome in 4th year, more than I expected, and I'm, you know what, at this point accepting that it's probably going to continue into working as a new grad, so I might as well just get used to it and find ways to remind myself that imposter syndrome is not real. It's just, you know, these made up feelings in my head. So yeah, that has been one of the big challenges of 4th year, is that it's just really inconsistent and there really is no sense of routine, and I have found that quite draining. It's also made filming quite challenging because obviously there's some rotations that I just can't physically film on. I'm not gonna pull out a camera on an external rotation because, you know, that's not what they signed up for. They signed up to have a vet student, not a YouTuber. So that in itself has been a little bit challenging to make content. For the OVC rotation specifically, I do find it a little bit easier to film. So I have a couple rotation vlogs that will be coming up for you guys in the near future. I have links neuter that I did on my primary healthcare rotation. I'm currently on my radiology rotation, so I'll be filming next week. And then the other big video that I have coming up is my NAVLE, and that has also been one of the challenges of 4th year. It's honestly been the biggest stressor of 4th year. So I guess if we throw it all the way back to the beginning of 4th year, I was actually feeling pretty good about my NAVLE. Sorry, ignore the dog ear here. But yeah, talking about my NAVLE, basically I was feeling pretty good about it at the start of 4th year. So like kind of all through the summer months into September, I was feeling pretty good. I would say I was less stressed studying for the NAVLE than I was for a lot of like midterms or finals in vet school. And I think it was just because I had so much time to study for this test that the impending doom of it, like that immediate stress, the immediate time crunch, wasn't really there. I had planned to write my NAVLE at the end of November, and I remember starting to feel slightly stressed at like the end of September, early October. And again, I think it was just that time crunch. And what also didn't help, which you guys will see in the NAVLE video, is that I wrote some of the practice exams, and to be quite frank, I didn't do great on them. And that just like, I think I just started spiraling. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail my NAVLE. Then November comes, I wrote my NAVLE. Honestly, I felt like pretty good after I wrote it. It was definitely not the best test I've ever written in my life, but I was like, well, it didn't go horrible, so like that must be an okay sign. And then I had Christmas break right after, and for the first time in a very, very long time, I literally had no school responsibilities. I didn't have to study at the end of a day, and it was honestly the most relaxing time I have ever had in my 4 years of vet school. Then we move into January, and I was back at OVC for rotations, and you guys will see in the video, this is kind of where the stress started to kick in again. Everyone knew that results were coming out kind of middle of January. Everyone was talking about the NAVLE. I felt like everywhere I turned, people were just stressed. Like I could feel people's stress radiating off of them. And because of that, I got super stressed. And at the end of the day, had I failed, it would not have been the end of the world. People fail the NAVLE every year, and I would have just rewritten it in April and I would have studied again. But I think I had been so switched into the mindset of I don't need to study anymore. This huge milestone is over and done with, that I think I would have really struggled having to get back into a studying mindset again. And it honestly, it was just something that I didn't want to have to go through again. Sorry, I need to move. Link decided to sploot beside me. So I didn't realize that me adjusting the camera to accommodate for Link's sploot caused the entire rest of the video to be out of focus. Love that for me. So anyway, future Amanda here to wrap up the rest of the video, and hopefully this time it will actually be focused. Basically all I was saying was that NAVLE stress was a stress that I had never experienced before. Honestly, it was way different than like the stress that came along with applying to vet school. Don't really know which one was worse. But either way, that was definitely a period of my life that was extremely stressful, and I am so glad that that is over and done with and behind me, and I do not have to worry about my licensing exam ever again. The other big change for me in 4th year, or I guess like a weight that's been on my shoulders, has just been the fact that I have been a student my entire life. And in 8 short weeks, I'm no longer going to be a student anymore. I'm going to be a doctor. Even though this is something that I have wanted since I was literally 6 years old, it's going to be a massive change. I had 8 years to perfect being a university student. And even though there's been a lot of ups and downs, there's a lot of familiarity that comes with being a student and going through the same routine year after year. And now all of a sudden we're going out into the real world and we're expected to be actual adults now, which is something that I haven't had to do as of yet. So that whole feeling of uncertainty and not really knowing what life is gonna look like after vet school has definitely been something that I guess has been weighing heavily on me, which is something I didn't even really process, I don't think, until I actually just said those words out loud. Especially the first half of 4th year when I didn't have a job lined up. It just felt like there was a lot of unknowns coming up in my future. Thankfully, I do have a job lined up, so I know where I'm going to be after graduation, and that definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable with this whole student thing ending. But I do know that it's going to be a big adjustment switching from going through everyday life as a vet student to going through everyday life as an actual veterinarian. But it also has left me with just questions of like, what is my life gonna look like in a couple months? And also just what this YouTube channel is gonna be. Like, do you guys even want to see content after I'm done vet school? So I would love your input and advice on that. I would love to continue filming videos and posting content for you guys about life as a new grad, even just things that I learned throughout vet school that I never got a chance to put on the internet. But by the same token, if that's stuff you guys don't even want to see, then definitely let me know. I would love to evolve this channel and have it follow me along through my veterinary journey. So yeah, there you have it. That's kind of like a quick little life update on what's been going on in the past 7 months of my life. Life as a 4th year vet student has been much different than I had originally imagined it. Even though this video was primarily talking about the stress of 4th year and the challenges that I've been facing, I do want to say that 4th year has been the best year of vet school. I've loved being in the clinics. I've loved getting all of these hands-on opportunities. This year has given me a chance to dive deeper into my interests and develop new ones that I didn't even know about before. And to anyone out there who is going through the first 3 years of vet school, just keep in mind that it does get better. It is definitely the highlight year of vet school. I also just wanted to wrap up this video by saying a massive thank you to every single person who has been following along on my journey. Getting to be in clinics this year has given me the opportunity to meet some younger year students who have watched my videos. And I just wanted to say like a massive thank you to every single person who's come up to me, who has said hi to me in the hallways or in clinics. It genuinely means more to me than you could ever know. It's just so cool and such a full circle moment for me to go from talking to a camera to actually getting to see you guys in real life. And it really does mean more to me than I could even put into words, having an entire community of support behind me as I've gone through these last couple years of vet school and as I'm finishing out my vet school journey. I know I have been a little bit MIA, but if you're still watching, if you're still sticking around, I appreciate you so much. And I'm making a promise now that the content will be more regular. Unless you guys don't want to see more stuff after vet school, then well, that's life. But as long as you guys want to keep watching me on your screen, I will be here and I will keep making content and I will keep sharing the highs as well as the lows of life as a vet student and pretty soon, life as a new grad vet. Oh my gosh, that's so weird to say. So yeah, I'm sure this video is like 10 years long, so I'm gonna stop talking. But again, thank you guys so much for all of the support and all of the love over the past couple years, and especially over the last couple months as I've been going through the NAVLE and 4th year. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.